Hi guys, this is AC Gamer back with a new video on Hero Cantare. Now in today's video, I'm going to be going over characters that I believe are PvP worthy, and if you guys are struggling with the PvP, just build this certain characters I go over. Hopefully you guys like this video. Stay tuned for more content on Hero Cantare. Next video, I'll do a top characters you should work for PvE content. This is just PvP content, so like the 1v1 arena as well as the team arena, so this should be helpful for you guys. Let's get to 3k subscribers. At 3k subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway. Okay, let's get right into the video. Let's go into the hero section and take a look at the characters. Now, let's talk about God Killer Zero first, because she recently got a nerf in PvP. So before, unique or exclusive equipment used to be top tier in PvP. It still is really good. She's not that bad still in PvP. Before, she was like amazing. Now with the changes where she's only able to do 8 burns maximum for every attack done to her or the team, it's not as OP as before. Usually she's able to stack more than 8 burns. It's definitely a debuff done to God Killer Zero, but is she viable in PvP? Definitely. So if you still have your God Killer Zero and you still have her exclusive equipment, you can still use her. Not bad, even though she was changed in PvP a little bit, she's still an amazing unit. Next, let's see. Prime King Yuma. Prime King Yuma is the best tank for PvP, and I recommend running her in all your PvP teams. She's just really great, especially with a passive where she's able to recover HP based on the amount of damage done to her, and her damage is based on her HP, so you can build her with this gear right now. As you can see, I focused on building her HP, and with this over here, increasing her debuff accuracy. To be honest, you don't really need the crit damage. I should probably change that, but you definitely need to skill damage. Well, not actually, maybe not skill damage. Just build the debuff accuracy and any of the other skills, I guess. With this, I just put more extra HP stuff on her, as you can see. With the relics, what I need to change this. I have this gear, obviously, to increase the second chain attack. Literally the only attack you need to use. You can also use the first chain when you're really low on HP, but I don't recommend using it. Just use your second chain. And with the first chain, just hope that you get a counter. Or yeah, when you get hit, you get a counter, you use your first chain, you recover a bit of HP. That's the only time I recommend using her. So I got her to triple S, which is going to be very, very good. Definitely a must have in your PvP team. Next up, we have Crusader Murillo. Yeah, don't use her. Now, she is a great attacker. The only thing about her is the fact that she only has 1 turn immunity. She's not like King Dark, where she can be immune to damage for more than 1 turns, which makes King Dark amazing. But with her, it's just 1 turn immunity, and she gets hit again, she's just dead. But the damage she deals in PvP is really, really good. I used to use her a long time ago, but now I just don't think if you're using any attacker that doesn't have damage immunity for more than 1 turn, they're not going to be good. But if you do have Crusader Murillo and you don't have King Dark or the White and Queen No Name, definitely use her, I guess. Now, if you were running the light team, I definitely recommend using her. So you don't know what the light team is Endorsi, Crusader Murillo, Black Match Bam, and I believe one more unit, I'm not really too sure it is. But yeah, those are the teams you can run with the light team, but she's good for that. But if you're running the usual team, I recommend just using King Dark instead of her. Next up, who do we have? Jovial Grace. Now, the reason why I think Jovial Grace just rose up in popularity in terms of PvP is because of the recent nerf to King Dark. King Dark used to have, I don't know if it's damage immunity, I don't really know what it was, but his ability that you can't really remove, so you could remove his buffs. But now they changed it to damage immunity, where you can have Jovial Grace, who, if he uses a second chain, which it deals a massive amount of damage, it can remove the buff and cause them to have buff unavailable for 2 turns, means that your King Dark literally dies. So he is a perfect counter to King Dark. However, there's an issue with this. He cannot survive a King Dark damage dealt to him. So the tactic you want to run with him is making sure your King Dark has a higher speed than your opponent's speed, so that you use your King Dark's third. The King Dark's third will thwart the opponent's King Dark, so they can't do damage. Then you use the Jovial Grace next with a second chain and add a debuff immunity to the King Dark, and then yes, fine. Even if Jovial Grace dies, as long as he applied the buff unavoidable, he did his job. So that's why I believe he rose in popularity in PvP. I personally don't use him in PvP. I just think running the fire team is just better than using him because he's just gonna die, and if he doesn't get that buff unavailable, it's pretty much GG's for you. So yeah, that's why Jewel Grace is good for PvP, and obviously the king of PvP. Now, many people say the White and Queen No Name are the best now. However, I'm pretty sure not many people have them triple S. We'll get in mind triple S in, I believe, a month's time, so stay tuned for that video. But yeah, King Dark, the king of PvP, running with the second chain amazing, third chain amazing. His first chain also can deal debuff unavailable. I believe the chances are low though, 40%. So yeah, if you're lucky enough and you got Cantare with your King Dark to the opponent King Dark, you can add the buff unavailable and cause them to be unable to have damage immunity, and so you win. But yeah, King Dark, the best attacker. I recently worked on his gear right now, so before I didn't focus on the special stats, but now that I did, it should be dealing more damage. However, I want to change this. Damage boost to opposite attribute. I need to change that to just damage boost on heroes, and it will be, yeah, just like this, and it will be okay to have. Now, the bad thing about my King Dark is the speed, so my King Dark won't be going first, and it would probably get faulted, so it's going to be annoyed about that. Maybe we should add the relic that increases the speed. Next up, Black Match Bam, because when Black Match Bam goes into Black Match status, he's able to do a massive amount of damage. Also does a defense down, so pretty good. However, I wouldn't say a must-have for PvP. Now, Baylord Yama, even though I don't think he will survive PvP that much, however, if you do build him with speed, like I mean a massive amount of speed, you will be able to get a guaranteed taunt at the first turn, so that the opponents won't be able to deal damage to any of your other opponents besides him. However, like I said, he won't be able to tank the damage. I do think he's an amazing tank, but the thing about him is he doesn't have the same passive as Prime King Yuma. I would have said is amazing in PvP. I believe in terms of Kaiser, I think Kaiser is also an amazing PvP unit and an overall best unit, one of the best unit in the game, because she can literally help you clear every content in the game. But because of Kaiser, she also has a buff where as time goes on, the defense on her increases, so she becomes tankier. However, with him, he doesn't have that passive. However, he's able to do a second chain buff, apply defense boost to all your teams, which is pretty good. First chain also causes him to survive a lot because 30% of his maximum HP as a shield, pretty good, especially for PvE. But this is not PvE stuff, it's PvP. So yeah, he isn't bad for PvP. I wouldn't recommend using him for the 1v1. However, you can use him in the team arenas. Kaiser, like I said, an amazing tank. For team battle or team arena, definitely would recommend using. You can also use her in the 1v1. However, Prime King Yuma, like I said, is the best. Next up, we have Razel. Now, unfortunately, if you did come into the game late, there will be no way for you guys to ever get this character. So I was lucky enough, I was there for the first Noblesse collaboration as well as the second collaboration. I was able to get this guy 6 stars, and he is pretty much amazing in PvP. And I think many people don't use him anymore. However, if you want to, like, if you're free to play and you've been playing for a long time and you still have your Razel, definitely would say is a really good unit to have, especially in team PvP. You can definitely use him. You can also use him in a single one to cause the enemy King Dark to not be able to attack for the first turn, which is pretty good to have, especially with his third chain silence, which is amazing. The third chain is pretty good, like one of the best skills he has. He's able to grant shield 40% HP, which is pretty good as well. So I really built this guy with speed. If you take a look at it, let's see his speed. Yeah, as you can see, his speed is really good. I will recommend using him for PvP. However, it's falling off a little bit, but yeah, amazing for team PvP. Next up, Valkyrie. She's alright, but I think she's just worthy of PvE instead. Next, we have Pure Green Erin, and due to the recent nerf to Godkiller Zero, I think the healing team now has got a bonus now in terms of PvP. Pure Green Erin will be able to heal more, causing your team not to die. So definitely, I would say the queen of PvP now. The heals is disgusting. Amazing unit. Definitely recommend using her. Next, we have obviously Queen Onion and White. Anything I said about King Dark applies to them as well. Really good. Only if you have them 6 stars though. I think if you have your King Dark triple S, don't bother using them now until you get them to triple S as well. Now, this is another amazing unit, like recommended for PvP as well. Mono Fire team, you must use her. I don't use her on my team currently because I don't really focus on PvP anymore. I just do I pick my opponents and I battle them. I no longer do the blind or random PvP anymore. If you do the random PvP, definitely recommend using her with the Mono Fire team. Her, Prime King Yuma, Pure Green Erin, and who else? Probably God Killer Zero, but I think God Killer Zero has just gone down a little bit, so you might just want to use King Dark. However, that is a really good team. She's able to add buff on available, which causes the enemy King Dark to literally die. Amazing with the heals that she can do as well. Amazing for the Mono Fire team. If you're not running the Mono Fire team, don't use her, but amazing unit. Okay, so Max 11 Warrior got a buff ages ago. I didn't talk about it. So his second chain is able to do AoE damage now. If you're running the Mono Fire team, you can also run him in the team. However, I'm pretty sure you can just use a King Dark and it should be fine. However, I still think that many people sleep on this character. As you can see, I built him up to level 90. I want to build him later on in the future, like get him to 6 stars, triple S, and then run him in PvP. For the Mono Fire team, you can definitely run him. Now, we have Unleashed Razel. He has fallen off, in my opinion. And the fact that you can't get him anymore, get more copies of him, except you go to Hero Dungeon. Yeah, it's fallen off a little bit. With him, you can use his third chain, get that absolute attack, so that when your King Dark attacks, they gain extra damage. Pretty good. It's also able to add unrecoverable status, which pretty good to counter the Pure Green Erin. However, I stopped using him. Probably should build him back to triple S, and we'll see about him. Now, if you don't have Pure Green Erin, you can definitely run Cloris. She's the second best healer. Now, I wish Pure Green Erin also had the ability to remove status element, but she has it with her first chain, I believe. Yeah, she's able to remove one debuff, which is pretty good. So if you don't have Pure Green Erin, definitely recommend using her in PvP. Flame Coon, it was really PvP meta with his revive. I don't really use him. I've already taken out his gear. I use him for guild, but yeah, if you have him, I guess you can build him for PvP, especially with the team arena is really good. Now with Matria Morgan Park, I talked about a tactic you could use with him if you watched the video where I went over this character. So with him, he's able to activate his passive, where if he gets inflicted with a third chain skill, he inflicts the opponent with passive seal, and if your units got attacked by King Dark, he's just going to activate the passive seal on the King Dark, causing him to be unable to do his unable to do his damage immunity, so therefore he's going to be able to kill your King Dark. However, I don't expect him to survive that much, but that's a niche tactic you can run in PvP. Don't really recommend doing that. Jing Song Ha, I shat on this character a long time ago, and then I made another video saying how good he is. For the Mono Lights team, I definitely recommend you guys to build him with Endorsi, Crusader Mirror Yo, and Black Match Bam. He is really good, so build him. I will build him up in the future because I want to run Kavara as well. So yeah, amazing PvP unit, Mono Lights team. Heavenly Warlord also, you can build him for the Mono Lights team. It's not really a must-have for the Mono Lights team, but it's okay for that. Sujin Lee, pretty annoying, especially with her exclusive equipment. She literally counts as King Dark because most people put the King Dark in the third slot and the fourth slot. But if your King Dark is not in the third or fourth slot, I guess she's going to be useless. However, if you deal a massive amount of damage, she's able to activate a passive where it causes all your units be silenced and taunted, which pretty annoying in PvP. So amazing unit for PvP. Endorsi, who is the queen of the Mono Lights team, definitely recommend using her. She stops you from getting debuffed in PvP, so she can counter any of the other units that adds taunts, silence. So really good. I want to build the Mono Lights team in the future, so Endorsi will be worked on later on. We have Green April Yuria. I guess you can use her in the team PvP. She's okay in the 1v1 PvP. However, I would recommend you using other tanks. A second chain is able to taunt, which is pretty good. We have Master Purpu, who recently got a buff. She's now able to add heals unavailable more often now, especially if you kill her, she just adds that straight away. So if you want to counter Pure Green Erin, definitely recommend building this character now. Definitely, I wouldn't say like a top tier unit, but she's definitely a counter to Pure Green Erin or the heals team. Those are all the units I recommend for PvP. Hopefully you guys found this video enjoyable and entertaining and hopefully useful as well. If you guys are confused for any of these other characters, tell me down in the comment section. I might make a separate video on those characters. Stay tuned for another video on Hero Cantare where I go over the best PvE characters. This is just the PvP characters. It's been your boy AC Gamer. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'm out.